Hi there, it's Grace Krivinger. Welcome back to the Art of What's Next podcast. And I think you're going to love today's episode with the incredible fashion designer Taylor J. Taylor is the founder and designer of the Taylor J collection, a stunning clothing line based in Oakland, California. She owns 2 boutiques that showcase her collection, and she shows her clothing line all over the country. I'm excited to have Taylor on the show today as she is such a brilliant example of how we can pivot with grace, stay true to our creativity, and create next chapters that align with our passion. Taylor's collection serves as a celebration of women of all shapes, sizes, and colors, and is dedicated to empowering women to feel like their best selves. I'm so proud to have Taylor on the show to tell her story of the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, and to talk about her commitment to helping women love themselves and to believe in their unique gifts. I'm so excited to welcome Taylor J. Hi, Taylor. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the Art of What's Next podcast.
Hi, Grace. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have you. And Taylor and I were talking before this recording about how we met at a Hivery event. We met when Diane von Furstenberg came to the Hivery, which was amazing. And that was back in early 2020, late 2019. And since then, I've been watching your brand, your beautiful line of clothing called Taylor J Collection, based out of Oakland, California. And I just have been really inspired and mesmerized by the work you're doing. And I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. And I just want to, that was one of the most amazing events I've ever been to. Such exciting moments. So thank you for having me. I'm excited as well.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So Taylor and I had a chance to talk before this recording, and one of the things that we chatted about was, she knows that this podcast is all around creating next chapters. Taylor has created some amazing next chapters. So Taylor, I'd love for you just to tell us a little bit about Taylor J, your collection, your stores, how you got started. Will you just take us back to how this began? With your collection and beautiful, beautiful designs?
Sure, Grace. So Taylor J was created from actually me being a store owner. So my beginning was I was a stylist, and then I opened up a boutique in SoCal. And from there, I realized that women needed clothing that they could rely on, and meaning rely on like different with for their journey, like their journey in
Right.
womanhood. Whether you become pregnant, or you have you become ill, or you gain weight, lose weight, whatever the things are that you're experiencing as a woman, as we do, you need to have pieces that you can rely on and that carry you through. And so with that idea is how Taylor J was actually born, just from me having interactions and experiences with, actual customers. And so I started the line, and first I kind of, I would say 2012, I was lightly trying to get patterns made. I had no idea about designing. Like, I went to fashion school, but not for design, just for
Mm.
merchandise. So I had little to no experience on that. Um, so I found myself with a group of people, designers. I found a couple mentors, and eventually I had some items made when I found sewers. And one summer, I think I sold like 200 dresses, and I said, "Oh wow, oh my gosh, this is it. This works." And so
Wow.
that is actually what gave me the confidence to really like go after the line, because before I was buying items and just reselling them, just wholesale or resell in the clothing store. And so another thing that I learned was whenever I would have a small amount of Taylor J pieces in the store, because I would only have, little pieces here and there, I realized the type of customer it attracted. It attracted women that wanted to share. They wanted to share the comfort and the experience that they had with the brand, with their coworkers, their friends, their sisters, and so I knew that there was something special there. And so I decided to retire from the boutique ownership and just go out there and learn how to build a brand. And that's exactly how Taylor J was started. We initially were just like, we had a clientele because we had, a store before, small clientele, but
Right.
I grabbed a design studio, and I did, trade shows, markets, and I would vend. And and it was 2017. I partnered in a brick and mortar with a shoe store out here in Oakland, and I think that was when I really got more exposure to people, because it was like in a, a really great neighborhood in Oakland, and I met a lot of different people, and so Taylor J just organically grew, built a really solid clientele, and I would say in 2020 is when we really kind of got our huge growth and momentum, because of
Yes.
course the pandemic, so it was really hard, but we actually decided to make masks out of some recycled fabric that we had left over, and so we made these really cool cotton masks that were really stylish, and they were two-toned, and for every mask we sold we donated one, so we really got like a lot of exposure from that, and press, and we were just, it was just like, oh, kind of really went up from there. And then another cool experience from during that time was the factory that we were using at the time closed down because of COVID, and they closed down with all of our fabric in there. So with that happening,
Oh,
I said, "Oh no, 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 we cannot let this happen." I didn't know what was going on in the world, so we decided to hire sewers, and now we have our own in-house sewing team. So we actually make everything ourselves in Oakland. And so that was an unexpected venture that it just kind of stumbled upon during that time frame, and I love it. And it's been great, and we're just still growing in that area. We now have two stores. We have our main store that we actually turned into a shipping station for a couple years, which is in Oakland, and then we have a new store in Rockridge that we've had for almost a year now. And so we're just changing lives and adding comfort, elevated comfort to women on a daily basis. And I'm just so excited that we're able to be here and share our brand with you.
oh, Taylor, it's so cool because I mean, aside from the fact that the clothes are beautiful, the colors are vibrant, the lines are so sophisticated and comfortable looking at the same time. And I think you're brilliantly talented. And what you just shared is so inspiring for so many entrepreneurs or creatives or writers or seekers out there that are trying to figure out their next chapter, and whether they're hitting setbacks and challenges like what you experienced when the factory closed and all of your fabric was inside. I mean,
Yeah.
just hearing other women founders like you say, like, we can get through these things. We can, I know this word is overused, but we can pivot when we have to, and we can make really interesting things out of really challenging times. And now you are doing leading all the manufacturing, doing something that is really innovative and beautiful, it's very, very inspiring.
Thank
I love hearing about this idea of creating lines for like the different chapters of our lives, because that's what we're going through, right? Like,
Yeah, and it's and yeah, the word pivot is definitely, and it's been overused, but it is definitely fitting for most of the situations, because just as entrepreneurs and even just people, just regular people, we all had to pivot in some way, and just having that in mind with the clothing and the comfort that it provides, even when you're in really uncomfortable stages in life, it's just something that I think that we really need, is really important, and it's just been our main focus from the beginning.
it's so true too that we will have to make changes. We will have to pivot. We will, and what you're doing is creating a layer of confidence for women, that as we're making these changes and as we're stepping out, that we can feel good while we're doing it.
Yes.
Will you talk about confidence a little bit? Because like confidence comes up, for so many of us when we're looking at what to do next, when we don't know what to do and things feel really muddy and uncertain. You give confidence in your clothing, but tell us what you experienced with your clients and with meeting with women. Tell us more about your experience around confidence, how to work with it, what to do when we
Yeah.
feel like we can't find it.
I love that, because one of another message that we really try to put out into the world is to love yourself first, and just being able to own who you are and accept it, and accept who you are and love yourself in all stages, even when you're in the growth stage of just like, healing, or, working on improving yourself, still loving yourself where you are, and being able to take those steps to where you wish to be, right? But like confidence, it's not really the clothing, it's really how you feel on the inside. And, you know, I think that it's a never ending journey. Like you never I don't think you never feel like you're completely confident, but you know when you're going down the right path into tapping into that space. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I think as I've grown older, I'm in my 40s now. I don't care about things as much as like what people think. Like I'm very confident in who I am, my thoughts, what I want. Making improvements on myself, and I'm self-aware, and I can be accountable in all spaces. I think
Right.
that once you're able to do that, whether you're right or wrong, you exude a form of confidence because you're sure of yourself.
Yeah.
And and so I think that as far as like clothing, when you feel good, like for me, my personal experiences, I went from being like a size 2 to a size 12 within like 6 months. So my body literally went through like 3 different people. I was like one person, this person, this person, and I had no clue how to dress, how to feel, or any of that. So I definitely know what that feels like in the clothing. So with that in mind, I am very thoughtful of like the cuts, the elastic, the way it drapes, the way it falls, the fabric, the way it feels in your skin. That way, if you are experiencing any of those moments, those stages, you still feel very confident. You don't feel like, oh my God, I feel like this, or I don't, because it's giving you like that ease that you really, really, really need just as a woman.
Mm.
And I think that alone just gives you a form of confidence because when you look good you feel good. That's the statement, right? But it helps with that, along with the message that we want you to use and actually model for yourself, like loving yourself first. How
Right.
do you feel, being conscious of what you're wearing, who you're buying it from, all of these things. I truly believe they build a certain character with a person. They help build, where you may not have even had any clue of in the beginning, from the beginning. And I feel like we educate a lot of people. Like we are a sustainable brand. We're conscious. We promote that. Like, know where your clothes are coming from. Know who makes them. Know what they're made from, and things like that. And be able to get good use of them.
Right.
So you're being responsible along with that. So I think all of those things together kind of. I guess I gave you a long answer,
I
but
love it. I love it because it's two things. I mean, I think you're right. Like I completely agree with you that confidence starts and frankly, starts and continues and grows with learning how to love ourselves. And that's
Mhm.
for most of us, I think one of kind of life's constant journeys and maybe even challenges. I think
It
certainly
is
even challenges. And one of the things that I've learned is that there's no end point to confidence. Like you said, it's not like we get to a certain milestone and then we have it and we keep it. Like
right.
we're kind of constantly like playing with it. But what I think is interesting about what you're doing is you're not just creating confidence in women in what they're wearing and how they're feeling, but you're also leading by example and putting yourself out there in these very visible ways as a business owner, running 2 stores and managing manufacturing teams and doing gorgeous social media marketing. So I think that you're kind of showing both sides of the coin of like, I will help the women that I serve feel more confident, and I will also show you where I'm working on my confidence. And like, so I
Yeah.
think
Yeah,
that,
yeah. I mean, I'm the first to say, like, loving yourself first. It's like that's probably been one of my greatest accomplishments, is that when I really tapped into that, like because it just gives you a different feeling, and you're just a much nicer person, kinder person, like happier person. It just kind of changes everything. But it is a never ending journey. But I think it's one that it's worth taking the steps to get there.
yes, yes. I love that. I I think you're also, in addition to being a really beautiful role model for women and for small business owners about putting yourself out there and being visible. I mean, you're also enormously talented in the creativity department.
Oh,
And I
thank
know a
you.
lot of people listening are thinking about ways that they can take their creativity to the next level like you did, like turning it into a business, turning it into something that sell and offer the world. How do you keep your creative juices flowing, and how do you keep that creative energy inside so that you're able to keep putting this work out there in this way?
That's a great question. There's a few things. Like, for one, I love the sunshine. I literally have my window. I like open the shades. I'm like, I need the sun and come in. I love the sun. I feel like the sun breathes life into us, and nature. But one of my favorite inspirations would be storytelling. Most of my collections and things, that it's always a story behind it. There's a message. There's
Hmm.
everything has like there's a story that I want to display in some way, and I want to see how that lives out and how people like tap into it, like, yeah, like we talked about greenergy, greenergy was all green and how it brought forth better, beautiful energy, after experiencing, such a, you know, um, really hard time, for everyone. So I want everyone to feel more happy, joy, and that there's joy after the rain. And so I would say the storytelling, and the stories are usually in my head. Sometimes I will express them. Sometimes I don't, it just depends, but that is like really how I tap into my creative juices, and things just kind of naturally flow from there. Uh, and I just always try to stay true to myself. I do not recommend that you go out and try to emulate someone else or do what someone else is doing. I think that you have to really trust yourself, trust your God-given talent, and trust that that will play out the way it's supposed to.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh, I couldn't agree more. And those are all big life human challenges too, to trust yourself and like you said, put yourself out there with your God-given talent. I mean those it's beautiful and inspiring and also challenging. So for people
Yeah.
listening, just to get that reminder that we're all working on this.
Yeah,
That's
and it's supposed to be hard. Like, I don't think anything worth having is easy, So, and being afraid is normal. I think that if you don't feel a little bit of fear, then I mean, is it even something you should be doing? So, I mean, it's okay. Like, I feel like those feelings are normal, and to just trust yourself, and just be kind and take your time, but just make sure what you're doing is something that you truly want to do, because it will carry you through those times and those, those moments where the ship is a little shaky.
yes.
A little
Yes.
rocky.
No. I couldn't agree more. One of the things that you and I talked about too, that I think supports this idea of like where do we go to kind of refuel and refill when the ship gets rocky and maybe
Right.
when our confidence is hurting or what, places like that. We talked about how you and I have similar pathways of collaboration.
Yes.
And we talked about, building business differently. So tell us your feelings on building business through partnership and collaboration and any stories that you want to share in that way.
Sure. Yeah, one of the most exciting collaborations I had was there is an amazing woman. Her name is Tracy Reed, and she is an influencer. She you guys can look her up. She's amazing. Trey's Going Gray is her Instagram name,
Oh, cool.
and she is a Silver Sister. So she has a whole movement of like just owning your hair, your silver, your gray hair, and like just letting it grow out. And she's got this entire movement of women that she inspires. And she wore Taylor J, and I asked her to come out to do a style event because I saw her doing a style event with Express. And so I said, "Hey, can you do that in my store?" And she was like, "Sure." And so she and her manager, they came out, and they're a mother-daughter team. And immediately we just clicked. Like, it was as if
Mhm.
we had just known each other forever. And she has been like probably one of the most amazing collaborations and friendships that I've ever had in my life. Like, she's introduces me to all of her people, and she's been coming, and we go on pop-ups, and we do all these pop-ups together. And as you know, influencers are, they're the new celebrity, so you get influencers are exactly what they are. People love them, and so it's been a great partnership. And I think that when you um, create relationships like that are genuine and true, so much can come from it. There's like a lot can come from it, because she initially started off as a customer, and then she became an ambassador. And then now she's like, going on trips with us for pop ups around the world, around the States, with Taylor J, styling Taylor J, and so that is definitely a something I didn't expect to happen, but it was very organic. And I
Right.
think right now, like with us just kind of tapping into um, the space of like we as women can build together. We can build like if we are, I try to be as transparent as I can with people, like as far as like, hey, this is we're a small business. We are here. We do this. We need your support. We want your support. I think a lot of times people sometimes are so quick to kind of find other avenues and just, but we have to kind of like stick together in that world, in that space as women, and we can do it. Like we can, we can really dominate in a major way if we kind of do it, and like what we talked about
Yeah.
yesterday. And so that's one partnership that has just been great. And in addition to that, just like taking the brand on the road and meeting new people and partnering in ways I didn't see, because we have two stores. So you think, oh, you're home, you're here, you come shop with us. And but just being able to go to different places and meet new people and even meet people that have been shopping with us online that live in, a different state, and
Right.
how we're able to like impact them in person, just by having our meetings, especially because the mission of our brand is so like genuine and true that you can feel it when you're in around us. It's like a whole experience, so it's nice to meet people that have already worn the pieces and just from afar. So I definitely am promoting partnership. That's a new pivot.
Yes. Yes.
That's a new pivot, is the partnerships and just working with other women so we can just grow in this way together.
I love it. And I mean, it so aligns with the spirit and mission of your brand. Like you said, that it's what you're doing is creating and this essence of supporting each other, collaborating together. That means we don't have to compare with each other. Like
No,
we can align. I
no
think that's where
competition.
you and I
Yeah.
got so excited about talking together because we love sharing, we both love sharing stories and we both love lifting other people up. And I
Yes.
think you do that through your clothing and the storytelling and your interaction with your clients and customers. And I do that through community. You do that through community
Yes.
in your stores and in these pop-ups. So there was a lot that we wanted to kind of
Just
celebrate
talk
and share
about.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we can just and just for other people to see us doing that and how we do it, and they want to do it as well. Like what, this is good. This is what it's all about. And it's like I can help my fellow sister, and she can help me, and and I think that is there's power in that, and we really have to tap into it.
Yes.
Especially the way things are in the world right now. Like we have to unite more than ever.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. What do you think, Taylor, for some of our listeners out there that I know are like nodding their heads and wanting to put their creative work out into the world and wanting to collaborate and wanting to, kind of embrace this new ecosystem, this new way of building business that matters and building business
Yeah.
with heart. I'm imagining, because I hear this a lot, whether it's in email or social media or in conversation, that there's someone out there listening that's going, yes, but I don't know what it is I want to do. Like, I don't know what is my path? What is my journey? How do I find my creative outlet? Do you have any advice for people that are just like, I want to make something meaningful, but I'm not sure what it is yet?
That's a good question to ask me because I think that because of social media, sometimes people really feel the pressure of that. And sometimes your what is it called? The story that's for you, a person may have major impact, but it could be you could be it's a possibility that you're supposed to be a part of something too.
Right.
I think that just because you are not the main, like the person who launches it, doesn't mean you don't have importance, and you're not
Right.
like like you don't have a gift that needs to be given. So I think that even tapping into something that you like, where you find joy. If there's a brand and you want to be a part of it, like that, there's still a lot of like success in that, and I think that we should talk about that more. Like there's people on my team that do things that I can never do.
Right.
Like they're great at that, and they're great in it, and the respect is so, it's like their contribution is major. So I think that we can't just run from that because we see things on social media and we think, oh yeah, that doesn't have to be that. Like the makeup artist, the stylist, the hairdresser are just as important as the person that they're, because they gave her the image, right? Like they gave her that look. And so that's one piece of it. If that's the case, if you're not quite sure, maybe you're just supposed to build with someone. Maybe you're
Yeah.
supposed to be part of a build is what I'm trying to say, right? That might be where your strength is. And it's still a beautiful place to grow. Just give it the right people. And if there's different, if you know you have something that you know there's something that you have to do and you know there's a skill that you've got, and it's something that you do, you just kind of identify as, would I do this for free? Would I do this if I wasn't getting paid? Like, would I, what does this come natural to me? Those are usually the things that you kind of tap into, and you can try them, you can explore them, and you can see. And if it's something that starts to bring you sadness, or you're frustrated, it's probably not the best thing to go out and do. But if it's something that brings you joy and you can figure out how to make money from it, then hey, go for it. But usually it's like something that's just as simple as you just can do it easily. It's
Right.
like it's just like, okay, that's easy. I can do this, because that's usually what it is. A gift is, it's not, of course you have to craft it and make it better, but at the same time it's like just naturally there. So don't sit on it, explore it would be my word, my fate, my advice. And one thing I always tell myself, because I'm a Virgo and we are a certain way, but I always say it doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be done. So
Yes.
sometimes if you're waiting to do something because you want the perfection, you want the perfect shot, you want the perfect this and that, just go out there and just do it. And as you get more, the more and more you get into it, the improvements will happen. You'll get better. You'll start to sharpen your skills and you'll get better. So I would definitely say that if you want to borrow my quote, just make sure you tag me every time you post it on social media. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. It's something I still tell myself all the time, to like,
Yes.
just like stop being so hard on myself. Like, just get it done. Okay.
Yes. It's such good advice because I mean, two things can happen. One is that, we can hide behind perfectionism. We can hide behind this, like, I have to keep polishing. I have to, before I show it to anyone, I have to keep polishing, polishing, polishing. And, and, and ultimately, like when we finally put our work out in the world, whether it's perfect or not, like the greater accomplishment is to put it out there. Like I,
Yes.
I tell my students all the time, I'm like, I will celebrate the day that you send me an email newsletter with a typo in it. I will be so proud of you because you just got it out there.
You
Like,
got it out there.
it's not that we want things to be sloppy, but we also don't want to hide behind perfectionism, right?
Yeah, yeah, because it can really stunt growth and it can keep you from making moves. It's like, it's perfection mixed with fear, and sometimes it will hold you back. And none of us are perfect. So that just goes to prove that, like, we're not perfect beings. We're not supposed to be perfect.
Right.
And so don't allow that to stop you.
So true. And your point about following ease is so important too. So I mean, sometimes like our brilliance is kind of right under our nose. Like it's the thing
Yeah.
that we can do really naturally. It comes easy to us. So then we brush it aside thinking that it comes easy to everybody when it doesn't.
No, you're like, how did you do that? So I mean, it's a gift. They're gifts, and gifts are to be honored, and to be, I think, even if it's from the person that has a gift, it's like it's easy, but that's a gift, and what can you do? There's so many people who are searching for knowledge right now, and if you have a gift and you have information and something that you can share, don't hold back. And there's so many ways you put it out there now too. You've got podcasts, you've got YouTube, you got TikTok, you have all these platforms that make it easy for you to get, your message or whatever it is that you have to give to get it out there.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. And there's you asked me about a partnership, and I forgot to mention this one, but just last week, there's another designer out here in Oakland that I did a photo shoot with, and so Leslie Evers, we actually did a swap where we switched each other's clothes. And so just partnerships like that, just showing like, hey, we're two women, we're both in Oakland, we both make our clothes here, we have stores, and we support each other. Like, we are friends, we work together, and people just like seeing that. That's another form of like, hey, unity. How do we come
Yeah.
together? How do we support? And like, it's okay to support my fellow sister, like support her, she supports me, and all of that. And I think that movement, we need that movement, because I know, I will say this, during was it 2021? It was during the whole blackout on Instagram.
Mhm.
That was the most impactful thing, like, especially being a Black business owner. We were just like bombarded with like people that had never talked to us and had never seen us, and we were getting all this. intention. And it was just like, even though it was a sad time, it was still like the support of everyone, just like, you know what, let's support these businesses and let's support women. Like it just shows the power in that. So I think if we can
Right.
kind of get to that on a regular, not when there's like a sad moment, you know, and something like that, but it's just like, this is just what we do. And especially if you find people that have good work, good products, you know, which we do, you know, then it's worth us kind of tapping into. So I really, really, um, am excited about modeling that and going into that world of partnership and
Yeah.
share, you know, sharing our audience and our brands with other our with people
I
together.
totally, and it just makes all of us more intentional about,
Yes.
how we're who we're buying from, how we're buying, how we're consuming, like how we're making choices around, who we're and just who we're lifting up, frankly.
Yeah.
Like there's so much energy. I feel like it's really a new way of doing business, honestly, is leading with kindness and celebration of other human beings that are putting their work out there in this meaningful
Yeah.
way. And when one of us leads like that, the other one leads like that, the other, like it creates this contagious energy. And before
Yes.
you know it, we have an entirely new way of doing business.
I love it. And I
We
think
do.
it's needed. We need it.
We need it. We need it. So you're doing so much, Taylor, in terms of, I mean, you list, so she's got your two stores. She manages all local manufacturing. She does pop-ups all over the United States. She's doing all these cool collaborations. She showcases all these women, does, lines that are based on stories of real women. It's just stunning. What's next for you? Like, what's in your vision of kind of what are you dreaming about and what are you hoping for?
Oh, that's great. Well, one of the things that we are working on now is we're going to be launching a subscription box really soon.
Oh,
It's called the Comfort Box, and so I'm excited about that. In addition to that, you know, we do love brick and mortar, so the goal is to open brick and mortars in more cities, eventually, out of state. You know, so the pop-ups are a great test for that. You know, just kind of testing out the markets and the demand for it in those particular areas. And just growing online, like we just want to grow our social media. I mean, our e-commerce, and
yeah.
get more women in Taylor J and more Taylor J in women's closets. And so
Yes.
that is our goal from here. Our store, one of our stores, actually both of our stores, but we will be having a lot more events that are just focus on mental health and well-being, and things of that nature. So that's our plans for now. And hopefully we'll see a new Taylor J somewhere in one of these states. I'm not sure yet which one.
I
Um,
love that. Well, I
we
know.
love the brick and mortar concept. Like that's kind of we're still in love with the brick and mortars. We think they're still necessary.
Well, we talked about that too, of just how meaningful it is. What again, going back to intentionality and making thoughtful decisions, and like that, just to be able to touch fabric and have someone help you and have someone, advise and lift you up and make you feel good. Like those things
Yeah.
really matter.
It really does. It really the experience is needed, you know, and it's nice. It's we just had an event on Sunday called Retail Therapy. It's actually our first. It's gonna be a series, and it was the first one. And we had a panel of therapists that came, and they discussed how to navigate therapy and how retail therapy plays in with like retail shopping plays in with like just therapy. And so that is something that I think that the people that attended really appreciated it. Like they they could have stayed and talked to the therapist all night. They had so many questions, but just things like that that are giving our community and our supporters, you know, more than just clothes. You know, like how are we
Yes,
keeping them? You know, and so that is an exciting route for us to take for me as well. Like I love to do that. It's all a part of the storytelling. It's all it's all one.
I love that. I mean, there's a few years ago, I wrote about my belief that entrepreneurs are artists of life, and you are such the epitome of that because you're
Oh,
weaving this creativity and connection and community and human understanding all into your brand. It's really beautiful to
thank you. I
watch.
think I think it's how we stay sane. Because you're creative. We're a little unique.
I love it. Well, tell everybody how to find you, your website and your Instagram and all that stuff.
Sure. Okay. If you are on social media, you can follow us at Shop Taylor J, and that's Taylor J. It's Jay. Online, we are at taylorjcollection.com, and same thing, TAYLORJAY collection singular.com. And so you can shop with us on there. And any other social channels, it's Shop Taylor J as well.
Love it. I love it. I love it. It's been such a joy to have this conversation with you and to be able to share your creative energy and your wisdom and your commitment to collaboration and lifting women up. I could talk to you all day. Is
I
there any, I love it. I love it, Taylor. I'm so honored to,
You ask the best
yes.
questions too.
Oh, you're so sweet. Is there anything else that you want to share with our community or with people out there that are feeling inspired and lifted up? Is there anything else you want them to know?
Yes, I do. I want you to love yourself first. I want to know that you can do anything that is meant for you. It will be done. So don't let fear hold you back. And I'm excited to hopefully Grace and I will have something special for you guys soon. So we can maybe meet in person and talk in person. But just stay inspired, love yourself first, put yourself first. I know that sounds selfish, but sometimes you have to take care of self first in order to make any additional moves, and it's a true thing. So
Yes. Oh,
everything else will fall into place.
so true. So true. You're the best. I'm so grateful for this conversation. Everybody check out taylorjcollection.com and follow her on Instagram. I'll put it all in the show notes. I'm just so honored to be connected to you, to be part of this community spirit. And I look forward to continuing to celebrate your work and getting lots of people in Taylor J clothes. So thank you so much, Taylor. It's wonderful to spend this time with you.
Likewise. Thank you for having me, Grace. I had a great time.
Me too. Me too. I hope you found this episode helpful, idea provoking, and inspiring, especially if you're in the midst of creating or clarifying your next chapter. I can't even put into words how much I appreciate you, your vulnerability, your stories of creating a life and meaningful work amidst adversity, grief, ever-changing and challenging times, and of course, life's peaks and uncertain valleys. You are seekers, wisdom sharers, and artists of life. And together, we can build meaningful next chapters that feel aligned with who we really are, what we're put on this earth to do, and how we can make a difference one human being at a time. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. And I would love it if you could leave a review for the art of what's next. If you know someone who wants to create a new chapter or who would appreciate this episode, please share it with them. You can text it to them or email them the link or post about the show on your Instagram. If you want more help in creating your own meaningful next chapter, join the Hivery newsletter to get inspiration, stories, and resources to help you create your next chapter like an artist. Sign up at thehivery.com/podcast or at the link in the show notes.